Hey, Lowco football fans. It is Friday lunchtime, and it's time for the newest tradition that I'm so pumped about, you guys. Lowco Gameday Live every Friday at lunch, getting ready for kickoff. It's coming soon. We got to get all manic and then get our rest in and get ready for a long night ahead because we won't wrap it up until after midnight. We're going 12:30 to 11:30. So 12:30 to 12:30, really. We start the kickoff show at 12:30. We wrap up the recap show at 12:30. We're going 12 hours wall-to-wall football coverage for you. And it's going to be a great time tonight. Wes Kerr joining me, along with Misael Garzon, our May River Sharks correspondent and Lowco FC co-host. I mean, you're the utility knife here at Lowco Sports, buddy. You cover a lot of bases.
What's the baseball term? The player that does everything but not really great at anything?
That's a utility player. That's a utility player.
You know, I heard football. I thought it was the other football, the real football. Then I realized after we got live that it's a pigskin football. So you want to do my best. Try my best here.
You know, I have an idea right now. We're going to do a web series. You're going to do the reverse Ted Lasso, and we're going to have you coach a football team. And
there you go. That'll work.
See how it works. Reverse Ted Lasso you. So that's your place in the world. Your next place in the world. Your next job. But this is about actual American football, the kind that's so popular here in the South and here in the Lowco. And we're going to get you all ready for kickoff with all kinds of good stuff. You're going to want to join us tonight at 11:30. We're getting the hang of this thing, Wes. Like, we were just kind of flying by the seat of our pants last year, and we wanted people to see what we envisioned. And it took a little while for people to kind of figure it out. But last night we hit our stride when Casey Sullivan, the new AD at Whale Branch, got us on live with Hatcher, Coach Hatcher, and KJ Chisholm after the game. So we're going to play just a little clip of that, but you need to go back and watch last night's LowcoSports Lowdown so you can get the full rundown from Hatcher, who is unto himself a main character, and Keith Chisholm, who was also great. But let's check it out here, boys.
Knocked some holes in there. Isaiah did a great job. We did not have a bad snap all night. DJ transfer, just all of them. I don't go call the roll on them, Justin, but they were all good. And the biggest thing that I did is I decided I'm going to put my best player at quarterback. So KJ went to quarterback, and for some reason everything started to work after that.
and you had your man Bradford Thompson roaming for
Bradford, man. Bradford, I don't want to tackle Bradford. When Bradford gets in the secondary, you're dealing with 160-pound, 70-pound defensive backs versus that. And the man runs a 4.5 40, 220, and you could see it. You could see it when he got on them. They didn't want any part of that. They didn't know. They make the effort, the Herculean effort, go for those ankles, but they didn't want that. But Daryl Cummins is a beast. He's 190 pounds. He's only like 5'9". And he really cuts good. And what's improved, what I enjoyed tonight was the backs were blocking for each other, and that's something I had not seen. And our offense, Justin, if you don't block, the backs don't do the final block, it's not going to work. But real happy. I'm worn out. But I did a lot of yelling tonight. But that's kind of typical of me. But hey, as long as we get the win, we're happy.
Heck yeah. We'll leave it at that for now. But Hatcher was on fire last night. We got him right after the post-game speech, so it was like vintage Hatcher. It's like what we get to experience. Like what I love about that, or like our post-game interviews, is just kind of letting people in on the reality show that we experience every Friday night. That you only get like the tip of the iceberg, but we want to take you behind the scenes of that a little bit more this year. We're starting to do that with our reels and stuff like this. I mean, people just jumping in with this to share what they got and their insight, because we're all spectators to this incredible reality show, really, that plays out every weekend. And we want to introduce you to the main characters so you can follow along and be part of the club and have a great time with this, give you this front row access. So love hearing from Hatcher. Go over to the Lowdown and check that out, because we had KJ on there too. He was great. We had a little fun with Hatch back on media day when he said Daryl Cummings wasn't going to break no 80-yard runs, and Daryl was like, huh? And I brought that up, and KJ was like, yeah, he didn't break any 80-yard runs, but he broke a couple of long ones tonight, so Hatch might have to revise that. But that was really fun. Just wanted to let y'all in on that little secret. But Wes, you got a update on our pick'em?
Yeah, the week 1 game is out on the Google Forms. I sent a tweet out from my account, so you can check it there. Lowco Sports also retweeted or reposted whatever it's called now, but But yeah, go take a look and fill it out.
Yeah, and we'll get the
Have
primer
until 7
page
tonight.
posted up.
I got to
I'll
put a
get that
deadline.
primer page posted up tonight, and then I'll link it on there too, so everybody can.
I'm gonna say if it's before 7, we'll count it, but we got to have some kind of deadline on there before the game starts to get.
Well, the great thing is that the Google form does timestamp. So what I typically did is just kind of, if it was within, it kind of depends on what the first game is. Like that Hilton Head prep game, like I'll fudge a little bit if nothing's been posted on Twitter or anything. Like I'll count that one up to like 30 minutes after kickoff. For the 7:30 kicks, it's got to be in by kickoff, because if it's after that, there's enough information out there that we're gonna get some cheaters. So we got to have it in by kickoff. I think on those late starts, but Hilton Head Prep is like, it can sometimes be an information desert for those afternoon kicks, and it might be the third quarter before you hear what the score is. So I think
it could be 21-20 Carleton County final.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point about the importance of Lowco Sports. Other media outlets that claim to cover Carleton County High School may or may not have reported that the Cougars won 21-20 against Hampton County. Sorry, old habits. The Oakland Raiders are still kicking around in my head.
I still say St. Louis Rams sometimes.
But the Canes, yeah, me too. But the Canes, they won that game 10-0, and they took umbrage with the fact that some clown went home and put 21-20 Carleton into max preps, and it took like 2 whole days to get it corrected. So it was misreported all over the land. But if you were following Lowco Sports, you knew like as soon as the game ended, because Justin Clifton was relaying it to me after I had to head for home. We had the final score on Lowco Pigskin Live at 11 p.m. So there's no reason to be misreporting scores 2 days later. Come on, get better, be better, people. But that's my soapbox. That was a fun soapbox. Thanks for queuing me up, Misa. But let's get it moving on to the games of the week, because I am gonna kick things off with a new idea that we're gonna kind of pilot tonight and see where it goes. I'm gonna head over to BA a little early, about 5:30. Set up shop and do a little Lowco tailgate party. So, we got games at Creek, at Beaufort High, and at BA, and Whale Branch is off tonight. So if you're free this evening, pop by between 5:30 and 7 to BA. I'm going to set up a little table, have some Lowco swag to give away, some Lowco gear to sell, do some interviews. If any sponsors are in the area, pop over and say hi. We'll get you on camera on a little Lowco Instagram reel. We're going to just do it up. We're going to have a good time. Again, this is like a pregame show for the soap opera that we're presenting you tonight. So come on out and have a good time, and we'll just meet and greet and talk and make cool stuff together before the football game. And then I'm going to jet over to Battery Creek and catch your Jags, who are 1-0 and trying to get to 2-0 against the Dolphins, who are kind of licking their wounds after the Seahawks took care of them last week.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Battery Creek trying to come back from that beating they took last week in the home season opener in the week 0 primer. And Richland starting 1-0. It's been a while since they've been on the winning side of things. So, they're definitely looking to continue off of that and have a great non-region run to get ready for region in 2A. So it should be a good game. I think it'll be a close game. I had it picked as a close game in my pick'em. I already did my pick'em, by the way. Because
I'm good. I haven't done mine yet.
So, but I think it'll be a close game. I think it's going to be a very athletic game. You're going to see a lot of running. The game will be over by 9 o'clock because they're going to run the ball a lot. So early night, and then go to Beaufort to catch the late part of that one. But I'm not going to say who I have winning yet, but I think it'll be a close game. It'll come down to the fourth quarter.
I will say.
So you're going opposite me. You're going Creek and then to Beaufort. Is that what you said?
Me, I'm May River.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't going to be there tonight.
Opener tonight.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there tonight. In spirit, I will be.
Yeah, I was going to say. And Wes is also going over to the Isle of Ladies. We're going to be populating the Isle of Ladies tonight with Team Lowco, because you'll be at Beaufort High, where they got Fort D and they got the Ghost, who ghosted us last night and apologized profusely. And I just want to note for the record, I called it live on the show. I said, hey, man, it's back to school time. He's got kids. we scheduled this thing in the bedtime hour. Things can go sideways in the bedtime hour. He probably just got caught up in it. It'll be fine. And sure enough, this morning he said, "Man, I'm sorry, Bo. I got you Monday night." So mark your calendar, Monday night, which is great because it's post honors. He's going to have his number retired. Wes is going to have a camera in his hand to get some dope footage from the jersey retirement tonight, and we'll show you all that on Monday night. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, get us back on track talking about.
Yeah, no, but this is a game that I've been anticipating for a while, and there's nothing like getting back out there on the field the first time after you won a state championship back in December. So it's going to be an emotional game in a couple different ways for Beaufort. First being that inaugural game back from winning the state title at your home turf, which is always very an important moment for your team and your program, and then you get to see one of your all-time legends, if not the all-time Beaufort High football legend, see his jersey retired, and Ron Parker, of course, a number of years in the NFL, most notably for your Kansas City Chiefs, and had a great career there with Andy Reid. And he was such a great ambassador for the Lowco during his time in the NFL, and just fantastic to see it culminate here back where it started for him to get this recognition, to get this opportunity to be honored right back here in Lee's Island alongside the state championship team. So going to be a fun night, and going to be an important game for the Beaufort Eagles. Obviously, we talked about last night. You don't want to go 0-2 in terms of just the mental stigma, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, what Bryce Lyman wants to see is he wants to see a sound, solid performance. Kind of what he saw in that first game. It was a close one against Cane Bay. I'm sure he'd like to see a little bit more, especially from both sides of the ball, especially the defense. Who, I mean, you got to see a ton of those guys step up throughout that end of the year, that postseason run. Will Cotting, Keon Rivers, Dom Camacho, they're all going to have to be on the top of their game against a very good Fort Worship, which I'm still not sold on in Class 5A. I think they'll be very good, but the jury's still out. Obviously, they haven't played a game yet.
Right.
And
how good is definitely up in the air. I agree.
And for Fort Dorchester, they have a new face at quarterback. It's going to be Bennett Wright for C.J. Watson. They've been competing into the season, but definitely going to have to watch out for Davion Brown, 1,560 rushing yards last year for the Fort Dorchester Patriots. So he's going to be a handful to bring down. So I think that linebacking play of guys like I mentioned, like a Cotting, like a Keon Rivers, like a guy, Robert Johnson, who was a very strong piece of what we saw last week. Defense is going to have to be able to stop the run and force the game out of the hands of Davion Brown, because when he finds some open space, he can take the distance. So interesting to see how they set up to defend against him. Jalen Berry is also a nice impact player at tight end, transferring over for Fort Dorchester. Then, of course, for Beaufort, I think a lot of the play rests in the hands of Samari Bonds. What is he able to do at quarterback? A lot more burden placed on his shoulders without those other supporting. There were stars in the backfield, of course, in Casey Fields and Colton Ferris. And you've got some new faces. You have Jaden Andrews, who got a good amount of work in their week 0 game, and then Doral the pass at wide receiver. A couple of other guys that I'm excited about that I'm looking forward to seeing. We'll see some more faces, especially get in there as the season goes on. But Bond's going to have to take a good leadership role and take me in this offense, and the line's going to have to continue to block in front of them. So this is going to be a tough test, a tough first home game for this Beaufort side, but nothing they can't handle. And I expect this Eagles team, it's easy to be motivated when you have a legend in front of you. You want to play well in front of them. In an environment like this, you want to play a good game of football. And
getting them rings gives you a little buzz too. And so the thing that excites me about Beaufort from that first game is, again, as we've said repeatedly, this was a tied game after 3 quarters, and it got sideways in the 4th quarter, but it's not indicative of how the game went at all. And the thing that excites me is, Samari was 17 of 34. He's not going to go 50% for the year. All right. He's going to be a 60-65% passer over the second half of the season. So he's going to grow into this new look where they've got 4 or 5 different guys that they can spread out that are really dangerous. And, Amari Patterson, he's raw, but he's going to be really lethal. And Eric Smart is, 100-meter champ type guy. Like, he can fly. And he had a big catch. Jamin Odom had 5 catches for 50-some yards. And Darrell DePass is a burner. So, like, once they settle into what exactly this offense looks like and how to attack different types of defenses with it, I think it's really going to take off. And they have, for my money, the best coaching staff in the area, and they'll figure out how to put the right pieces in the right places and how to maneuver them to be the most effective they can be. So I'm very confident this team is ready to take off, and whether it's this week or next, that's going to happen.
Tonight could be that liftoff.
Yeah. It's either going to be the turning point or the launch point, one or the other, I think, because they either launch this week or they launch next week, but it's coming. But we've got our first guest in the green room, so we'll get to him just momentarily. But I first want to honor our MVP sponsors and show them some love because they make all of this possible, starting with the OGs, still here after 6.5 years, Mickelson Law Firm. Love the Mickle squad. See them everywhere I go, one or the other of them. They're growing in numbers all the time, and they managed to take care of all those kids and raise them to be terrific young people. And they'll also take care of all your legal needs all the way through the line, all the way down to, of course, they're the official real estate closing attorney of Lowco Sports, and you can use them to close the deal after my wife, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. I got to throw my wife in there from the Pierce Group, Megan Jarrett, will help you find your place in the Lowco, whether it's a starter home or wherever. The official sports, and she wants to be your realtor and to help ensure that you find the right house. She will partner with Homegrown Home Inspections along with you. My guy, Jan Lucas, the mayor of Margaritaville. He is the dude out there because he does these phase inspections where he keeps an eye on things while your house is being built. While you're not here, you're in Connecticut or Ohio or New Jersey, and they're building your home in Margaritaville, and you can't wait to get there, but you can't see what's going on. So Jan keeps you posted. He's got all the technology. He's got drones. He taught me things about technology that I didn't even know about, and now we're outfitted with the best technology, just like Homegrown Home Inspections. So call on them as the official home inspector of Lowco Sports. And finally, it might seem like a somber note, but it's really not. Hospice care of the Lowcountry and palliative care of the Lowcountry, such a great resource in our community because we all reach the end of the road at some point. Time runs out for all of us, and the final horn goes off, and their caring staff make sure that you get the most out of life until the last day. And they're the only not-for-profit hospice care in Southern Beaufort County. So we are proud to partner with them and support them everywhere we can, and hope you will do the same, because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. So those are our MVP sponsors at the moment, gentlemen. We're always looking for more, and you can find us at LowcoSports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com, or we are all over Insta nowadays. So, hit us on Insta. I can't get enough right now. I'm pivoting to Insta because our boy broke Twitter, buddy. Like Wes is still on Twitter, but we're going to get him over to Insta eventually. But we've got another guest in studio now, ready to talk about the WHHI-TV Game of the Week. We hinted at it earlier. I'll be there for the tailgate show, the tailgate party, rather, Lowco tailgate party at Beaufort Academy, where Marcus Walsh will be on the call for BA and Hilton Head Prep. And I think we can all agree that there's not a lot of drama here. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but Beaufort Academy is a well-oiled machine, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit in the Lowco Film Room. And Hilton Head Prep is still a young, developing program with a terrific head coach and just not enough players. And Nick Schuford's got himself a monster over there on the Isle of Ladies.
Yeah. Hey guys, how are you? There's no question about it, JJ. This looks like it's going to be a big win for Beaufort Academy. Obviously, you take a look at Devontae Green, Jackson Porter, Tripp Craig.
They don't play the games on paper. They play them.
And that's true.
They play them?
They play them on WHHI.
Of course.
They play them on WHHI Saturdays and Sundays and replayed throughout the week.
Yes. I'll get to that in a second. Great segue. Diedrich Schuford obviously is a great guy to look into. Beaufort Academy does have a few more guys on their roster than does Hilton Head Prep. I will say this, and we're thinking that Beaufort Academy is going to win. They play them on the field for a reason. There are some guys to look out for Hilton Head Prep. Wyatt Harmer, of course. Jake Sheehan, I think, is going to have hopefully a big part in this game at tight end. You got to take a look at Danny Fernandez, too. Big guy that can do it all on the offensive line, defensive line, can do several things. I really think that if they can have those offensive and defensive lines, the front sevens working on both sides, or rather the front seven on defense and then the offensive line on offense working on both sides, and really just try to make this a slog of a game, Hilton Head Prep may have a chance to keep it close for a while and maybe keep it closer than we all think is going to happen.
Well, yeah. And you know, the adage is, if you're the big underdog that has nothing to lose, the longer you keep it close, the better chance you have, because they start to tighten up and you start to gain confidence and gain steam.
No question about it. And even Davis Cargill has a chance to do some really good things at the running back and linebacker position as well. So there are several guys, Chase Blanton additionally at wide receiver and defensive back, that I'm really looking forward to seeing again. I had a chance to see these guys in practice about a week and a half ago, and I talked to Dustin Etheridge just before the rains came on that Tuesday, and he said, I'm really happy with the way we're going about our business, getting after it in practice. I mean, there was hard hitting. It was a slog fest of a practice, and that's what they're like. They're kind of like a Big Ten team that's going to just gash you through, try to get some holes on the offensive side of the ball to run through, get some plays in the play action pass game, that type of thing. Obviously, special teams is big. But as I've talked about a little bit, Hilton Head Prep has not won here recently. We all know that. They're 0-3 all time against BA. And this is the first time that BA is going to be having a home game against Hilton Head Prep. Nick Shuford had a great tenure at THA, whom we saw last week. As far as I was able to kind of go through notes and do some stat crunching and number crunching, he's 9-4 all time against Hilton Head Prep. He's had a lot of success with the guys that he has, with the way things are rolling with BA.
Those four were a long time ago.
It's true. It's very true. I expect BA to win this football game, but obviously I'm not going to make a pick officially because I'm calling the game. It's going to be interesting.
Brent Marshberger.
I really think this one's going to be pretty interesting, and hopefully Hilton Head Prep is ready coming off that tough loss that they had last week, 50-7. The defense got through with a score early, and then in the second half they just couldn't do anything against Bethesda, and they lost to Bethesda 8-7 a year ago. So that kind of makes you wonder too.
It's a little worrisome.
I think they've made a lot of strides themselves, but certainly Dustin Etheridge is probably looking for a little bit more. But now you got to turn the page and go up against a BA team that has passed 2 tests so far with flying colors. I got to see them opening weekend, actually week -1, first game of the high school football season for anybody over in the States. That was against Trinity Collegiate, and then they kept it going last week against Pinewood, and that was a very, very close game, tight one, but be able to pull that one out to go 2-0. Just tell me, as someone who hasn't seen it in person yet, what are you most excited to see about it? What strikes you the most about what you've heard and what you've heard about, and then what are you most excited to see for real out there on the field tonight as you call tonight's game?
Well, I mean, I saw a lot of these guys last year, and they're all absolutely terrific. But I'm really excited to see what is going to happen with the Shufords. This is a big test, for both of them. Obviously, I just mentioned Nick's record against Hilton Head Prep all time. And this is going to be a little bit possibly, I shouldn't say it will be, but it could be a little bit of a situation where the trap game comes in. And I think Diedrich is going to have to lead this team and just keep the pedal to the metal. I think he's going to do that. And I know that he's going to want to have a big game at home against Hilton Head Prep. And a lot of that comes into the fact that he's played them a little bit before, his dad with the success record-wise and whatnot. I'm just really excited for this environment. you gave me a great tip earlier in the week that I already knew, Justin, but the reminder certainly helps. The bugs are going to be crazy. I think of the Cleveland Indians taking on the New York Yankees back in the playoffs in 2007 with all the midges attacking Jabba Chamberlain. It's going to be kind of that kind of atmosphere additionally. And, it's going to be a hot one too. So guys are going to have to stay hydrated and stay ready and sharp, because I think we're going to see a lot of just not necessarily track meet action, but a lot of ground game, whether through the passing game and run after catch or on the ground as well. Shuford can move a little bit as well. And we'll see. One other key that's really interesting that we've talked about a little bit too is that with the speed and ability of one AJ Barger, is he going to be playing a quarterback? Is he going to have some plays, whether just like wildcat or a little bit of a different wrinkle to save Harmer in that offense a little bit? There are a couple of key factors that could go into this, and it should be hopefully a really good game here tonight, and some good competition without question, regardless of what the score is. Good competition, good players on both sides, and good guys all around.
That's what it's all about, honestly. I mean, like I said earlier, we're letting you in on the soap opera that is high school football in the Low Country that plays out every Friday night, and we're trying to give you a front row seat to it and just see what we see and why we're so passionate about it. And I think we're between WHHI and Team Lowco, we're doing a pretty dang good job of showing people what's so great about it. Just the characters and the emotion and the elation of winning and the improvement that you see over the course of the year, or kids that you cover from year to year, and you see them and you're like, wow, look at that little guy. And then they're a senior and they're this big old grown man who's a beast and he's getting recruited, it's just a cool thing. And we're trying to make basically a infotainment reality show rooted in journalistic principles here that I guess it's almost like a docuseries in real time, like we're documenting the whole thing for you, and it's a great time. So be sure to catch and the other thing about the HHI games is you guys incorporate so many other community elements. You interview your community, champions and heroes, and it's just a really cool community event that it becomes, and celebrates a lot of different aspects and all these threads that run together in sports and in high school football in particular. So we appreciate you, man, and I'll see you over there for the tailgate party.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing you guys out there. Could not do it without our sponsors and certainly our crew, our sales staff, our production team, the talent like myself on the games. I mentioned Larry Jacomot and several of the other guys and gals on our team that work behind the scenes to make Daniel, Kevin, myself look and sound as good as we really do with all the work that we put into it as well. It's great. We love it, and we're excited to broadcast tonight's game for you. Check it out again. WHHI Weekends. Actually, Sunday is going to be the first airing. I found that out last week. 4 to 7 Sundays, and then every night up to the next week at midnight. Through the WHHI Sports Block in the early hours. Hit the record button if you can't stay up that late. And looking forward to this one.
I mean, it's already recorded, so we're just.
Can we call that the WHHI After Dark? Like the Pac-12 After Dark? Can we just call it that for the weeknight midnight thing?
I'm trying to get my girl Jessa to just let us take over the whole weekend sports, just air all this kind all the time. WHHI. You got to get working on it. We got to get Lowco all over that weekend sports block. We got lots of cool local sports content. So we appreciate you, man, and I look forward to seeing you tonight.
We'll see you guys here in just a little while.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
All right. Good times with Marcus. Great addition to the programming, we shall say, the wall-to-wall high school football programming, because he gives us a little more in-depth. He's done a lot of homework when he goes to broadcast a game. So, just like Wes, you taught me a lot about Fort Dorchester today that I can now bake into my prediction that I didn't know all of that in that depth. And Marcus has, I got BA on lockdown, but Marcus has given me some things to think about. So that's good stuff. But I guess I maybe shouldn't have let Marcus go just yet, because I did want to go through the BA film room, but he can watch from the green room while we break down BA's film here, because I had a little fun. I'm diving into the video, learning new skills every day, and I want to have some fun with that in the film room here. We're going to mute it so we can get a little analysis. Look at this downfield blocking. We got Devin Fripp and Jace Polk, I believe, laying the blocks on this one, and Devontae Green is sprung. He is gone. He's the Lowco Sports Player of the Week, by the way. The panel came through, even though Jackson Bybee, excuse me, I do it every time. There's D-Train throwing deep. We can't see him, but Jackson Porter's on the other end. Touchdown. But we're really here for Devontae Green, because look at this one-handed pick six. OMG. Don't worry, we're going to run it back in split screen so you get two angles. Shout out to Clay Lore's Pops Jonathan with the video, coming through with the video, and I had a little fun. Oh! D Green. I mean, this is viral material, y'all. This guy's not even on radars yet. Now, here we go again. You get to see it in full first, in full speed. Look at D. Oh, he gets faster every time I watch it. Pinewood's got some dudes now, too. They went and got some dudes. Now, watch the blocking this brings him. Watch how they sync this up. Trip Gregory shoots like a rocket to make sure it's synced up so D can hit the hole at the same time.
It looks like they're all in one good motion right there to set up their blocks. And then Green just sprinting right through that hole untouched. That is textbook football right there for PA. And they've shown that in many different regards in these first few games. And man, it definitely helps to have that kind of 1-2 punch with Devontae Green, Jack Porter, and a quarterback who can do a good job of setting the foundation and having the experience as you have with Dietrich Schuford, who can also take off and run himself. So love the way this offense operates from the quarterback to the backs behind him, and then to the offensive line, who's just working tirelessly to set the table for those long, explosive runs.
Yeah, I mean, the timing on that was what caught my eye, because I watched it a couple times and I'm like, dang, he got through that hole quick. Like, how did he slide through there? And as I slowed it down and watched it again, I'm like, holy cow, all three of these guys get on their blocks at the exact same time, and he hits the hole at that precise moment. So they only have to stand him up for an instant, and he's gone. And that is that's precision that you don't often see at this level, and a testament to Nick Schuford and his coaching staff, and to the guys who are working to be precise on every play, because that's the devil's in the details. And Misa, did you look at that and see a soccer player making a run and start thinking about your reverse Ted Lasso thing?
Yeah. The first thing I noticed in the first clip was there was a soccer goal in the back. You guys didn't notice that, but that's how detailed I am. And then the second thing was the coach. Did anybody get his 40 time on the sideline of that touchdown run?
Oh my God!
You guys see he's running with his hands up.
Oh, the coach. Yeah. All right, we got to run it back. Keep talking while we run it back.
You guys gotta miss. Look, there's the goal. See that? There's a goal back there.
Yeah,
that's
I see the soccer goal. Yeah,
you almost at the right area, but the blocking is really key, because with high school it's so easy and so quick to get called for holding because they don't know when to let go. And so it's very impressive in that first sequence. And as we keep going here, the crazy. Oh, this isn't the pick six. This is a touchdown.
That's the last play of the half, by the way. Made it 16-13, and they come back.
A buzzer beater, as we call it in basketball.
Huge play.
This is just athleticism. I mean, that's just pure.
You can put him in goal, right? That's your goalie.
Yeah, that's the goal.
The Nordic Wall graduated. So
I'm pretty sure he's zoned for May River High School. I got to look at the address and see if he's zoned for us. So, but that's a goalie right there. Look at the coach on the sideline jumping up and down. He hasn't gotten.
Just tell Ian Leslie.
But watch this, guys. I want you guys on the bottom right-hand screen. Look at this 40 time right here. Ready? And we're gone.
Oh, that's Will Kelly.
We're gone.
That's a former Lowco Sports Defensive Player of the Year.
He's gone.
Will Kelly with the 40 time.
But here's the thing, like
look at Trip Gregory. Holy cow!
Look, they let go. They let go.
I know. They knew once he's past them, he doesn't need them anymore. He's got it. He's got it. That's everybody doing their job, understanding their role, and letting their teammates take care of their part. It's good stuff. I mean, it got me hype when I was looking at it. I was like, I got to learn how to edit video better so I can break down this film and make something.
I got to look at this zoning map for us, because I'm pretty sure Ian did some business there. Nick and Ian, I got to go talk to him real quick. I think he's on for May River, but we'll see in the spring.
Yeah. Well, he's a senior, and he's definitely not Zone May River because I'm pretty sure he's some from Beaufort area school. But he's something special, and we got a bunch more games to get to though. So let's get moving on down the road. First, by recognizing our varsity sponsors, we've got DDS Web Design, been with us for a long time. Great friends of ours, and we are very online people. So if you're very online and you come across a website that you're like, ugh, this is a great place, but their website is so bad, don't tell them that, but say, hey, I know these people, DDS Web Design. They are masters at taking small businesses and organizations who have a small budget for this and creating a website for them that gets results. And they'll manage it for you. It's within your budget, and you can customize it. So call on them if you need to optimize that web presence for us very online people and get a website that gets results. DDSHHI.com, and make sure you let them know that Lowco sent you. That goes without saying. Tell all of our sponsors that you heard about them on Lowco so that they continue to support what we do. And our other varsity sponsor at the moment, our new friends at Parker Law Group. They've been serving folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years, and we appreciate their support because it allows us to continue to expand our coverage into those areas and shine a light on more deserving athletes and teams. And they're also going to be, I believe, out at the BA game tonight, so I'll see them over at the Lowco tailgate party, and maybe we can get somebody on with us on Reels to talk about what they do and why they support Lowco Sports. So those are more of our sponsors, guys. Our varsity sponsors, appreciate them more than we can possibly say, and hope to just do justice to them with these testimonials here on the shows. But let's get to the rest of the slate, and I do have a couple of pieces of insight that I'll share when we get to the games that I've gotten via text from people who could not join us but wanted to chime in. But I'll let you guys kind of pick and choose. We got some home games to choose from. Claxton at Hilton Head, Jenkins at Bluffton, West Ashley at May River. I think Misa might want to talk about that one. Northwood at Colleton Prep, St. John's Christian at Patrick Henry, and Wilson Hall at Hilton Head Christian. And we were hoping to have Zane Wilson from Hilton Head Christian jumping in here in a bit, so we'll see if he pops in on us, but if not, we'll keep rambling. So Misa, tell us about that May River game, and then I'll let you take your crack at one, Wes.
Yeah, no, as you know, we have our home opener, our first game of the season. We have a new coach this year, Coach Bonneville, who took over after Coach Summer stepped down last season. So a familiar face, but in a new role. And we know that, it's one thing being the assistant and the offensive coordinator. It's another thing being the head coach. So he's done a lot of work this summer with the kids. We've had a numerous amount of kids that have come out and played on the football team this year. We have a new turf that are ready to finally debut tonight. We're finally excited for that. But they've been putting into work. Coach Bonneville and staff have been putting into work. We are a predominantly young team, but we do have a lot of firepower. Tanner Mason's coming back at quarterback. He had a great, phenomenal sophomore season last year. As a junior, he'll be looking to kind of take that next step and take on a leadership role and guiding our offense. Don't quote me on this, but you're going to see a lot more, more throwing than we're used to at May River High School football.
I've seen enough from social media and just from looking at his body and the way it has developed in the past year that's going to be a factor. I mean, yes, it definitely is.
And
last year, guys were looking at to be the spark plugs out wide and maybe even at tight end as well. Who are going to be the key position players that are going to need to step up and make big time plays happen on offense with Tanner Macy at quarterback?
Well, Kason Simmons is our tight end. He's a senior. He's a big body guy. He does a very good job blocking, but I think we're going to depend on him more in the passing game to kind of be able to create us to have a more honest offense, to keep our defense honest and on their toes. A lot of teams know that when they come to May River, play May River, we're just going to run 90% of the time because we have the ability to do so. But I think this year, in order to keep the defense honest and for us to be able to really explode with our young team, because we are young, guys. We are very young, but there is a lot of talent. It's going to be important to establish the running game. We have a new running back system this year that's coming in, but also being able to get some passes. And if you guys recall last year in our playoff game at home against Myrtle Beach, what really hurt us was our inability to pass the ball at the end when they took the lead. So we're really excited. Coach Bonneville and his staff have done a phenomenal, tremendous job with everything they're doing in every aspect of the program and getting us ready. So, expect a big crowd tonight for our home opener. Expect a big, great atmosphere at May River. It's a new season for us here at Mill River High School. But we're excited, and I think it's going to be a closer game. Last year, the game was 7-3. It was a very defensive game. Expect the same today again. I think we'll see more scoring, but I think we're also going to see, I was surprised last week with Samari how much he threw. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar tonight with Tanner and what we're looking to do to kind of open up our offense a little bit more and kind of be more explosive, not just in the running game, because you'll get that from a Bonneville coach team and a Bonneville-led offense and Coach Dyer as well. But you're going to see also hard-hitting defense, kids working hard to try and make the game as difficult as we can for a very decent West Ashley 5A squad that's coming off a big win last week against Lower Ridgeland. So hopefully it'll be a good night for Shark football.
Yeah, well, the interesting note here for the Sharks, I think it's important to be able to establish that run, but also, find ways to incorporate the passing game in, especially in a year where you'd like to see a little more of that on top of some electric running as well. So I like the way that Bonneville has approached this first season. I think there's been newfound energy that's been brought to the weight room, to practices. And, especially that high fly on defense, as you mentioned, that's going to be a big part of this River team as well. And it's been that way for a while. So great to have someone with a good knowledge of that program and in a way, continuity of what's been working in the past. And then at the same time, finding ways to make it better. So I'm excited about this River team. And it should be a very compelling opener. I think it'll be a tough one for the Sharks. And I think if they're able to do the things that they're hoping to accomplish, especially with setting the tone at the line of scrimmage with that run game and then being that hungry, high-flying team on defense, I think they got a shot in this one. So I'm excited to see your updates or the updates from them.
We'll get somebody enlisted.
Yeah.
We'll get somebody enlisted over there. Misa will help us find somebody on the ground. But one note I wanted to add about May River that Misa may be able to chime in on is that I'm hearing rave reviews about Colby Whitley, the new strength and conditioning guy, who I think also is the quarterback coach, maybe?
Yes.
So, the combination of those two roles and what I'm hearing about him and what high level he is as a trainer, I'm excited to see Tanner this year, because you could see it last year. He was just really small and kind of, frail, not frail. He did end up getting injured, but he took hits and he was durable, but he was just so small. His frame was so small and he's still growing that you were just like, man, I hope he doesn't take too many hits. And he did. But I think this year is going to be a totally different story as far as the physicality. So just wanted to say that. But Wes, go ahead, Misa.
Whitley's been phenomenal so far this preseason with the weightlifting and kind of changing how we do the conditioning and weightlifting and getting SAQs involved, something that you didn't see much often in the past, and kind of just coming with new ideas, fresh, innovative ideas. And I think you guys are going to see it across the board in our athletics, because he's not just focusing on football players right now. He's working with our volleyball team, with our cross country, with our track and field, our soccer, our wrestling, all across. Like, he's been active all summer. And so that's going to be a big factor with how big Tanner's gotten. You're going to see him being more physical. He was physical last year. He
wasn't scared. He wasn't scared, even though he probably should have been a lot of the time. He's that dude. He's not going to shy away from it. And now that he's got the body to endure that a little better, I think it's got a chance to be pretty special. But Wes, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of turn the page to another game that we haven't really mentioned. We really mentioned it yesterday, and we haven't mentioned it today so far, but I think it has the potential to be one of the best games of the week, and that's over at Hilton Head Christian Academy. The Eagles coming off just a loss where they were outmatched against a very, very good Savannah Christian team. Wilson Hall, you got to give them credit. They had a great year last year. They were 7-4. They upset way back in the first week of season. And obviously, this is a much different team than then, because they were still trying to give the loss of guys like Chase Blackshear. Now they have Dylan Clark over at quarterback. And Clark, of course, this sensational season, just not much going right in this first game. But I think this Eagle team is going to look to get back to a lot of things that we saw that really excited us for what this year could bring. And now you get Tyshawn Mansell in there, who was a tremendous producer for that Thomas Hayward offense. You get his electric speed out there. That's another playmaker to have if you're Dylan Clark. And then you still got the tall Isaiah Anderson, who can win those jump balls And then Gage Zadalokin, another player, has really impressed me throughout his career. So they've got a good core of veteran offensive players, and you can say the same about that defense as well, like Zane Wilson, James Crosby. So this Barons team, though, they had a very good year last season, and they returned a couple of key guys like Grayson Alexander on defense, Landon Gilly with 6 interceptions last year in 2022. So it's a lot of those defensive studs return for Wilson Hall. So I expect a tight, close game in that regard. I think you're going to have to see the offensive line step up for Eldon Christian and for Dylan Clark to make some plays. And we saw him do that last year. I think Hilden Christian Academy comes up on top in a very close one here in Bluffton. I just think the energy, that motivation for what they saw last week, they want to play on that same level of Savannah Christian. I don't know if they're could be as good as them, but I think they got a talent to show that they're better than what we saw last week in that tough game. So I'm pumped to see what Ron Peduzzi pulls out this week. They've got a bunch of guys who have been on this program for a while. They know how to win. And I expect a good performance in what I think will be a very, very fun game to watch over there at Hilton Christian.
I think they're going to be fine. They may not win tonight, but they're kind of like Beaufort. It's like you played this game.
This is a region game, by the way. This is a region game.
It is, and I think I'm going to pick Hilton Christian because Ron Peduzzi. There's nobody better than Ron Peduzzi motivating a team after a loss. He has this really unique ability to be both a nurturer and a hard ass at the same time. And I don't know how else to categorize it, but he knows when to push which button, and he can really be a nurturer. And he had them prepared, and it's not just him, it's his staff. It's John Hopp. He's the same guy. He's the same kind of guy, probably more on the nurturer side. And Matt Smith is the same, probably a little more on the nurturer side. Peduzzi's a Marine, so he's a little more on the hard ass side, but he's softened tremendously over the years that I've known him too, and developed into, and he would tell you, a better coach because he's a more complete coach. He's a relational coach, and he's building relationships. And so what I say all that to say that they had them prepared before that Savannah Christian game. They played them last year. They knew what they were up against. They knew these guys are, like big deal guys. These are guys who have like NIL deals coming, like major NIL deals. They're going to make lots of dollars next year to play college football, or in 2 years, not even next year. And they knew that. They were prepared for it, but they viewed it as, well, I mean, everybody thinks they're going to beat our doors off. So what's the worst can happen? They can beat our doors off. Let's go give them our best shot, see what our best looks like against their best, and go back to the drawing board next week against an opponent that we can beat. And so I think they're in a really good place as far as that goes. And I know it's already been pointed out to me that White Knoll Carleton's next week. It was initially their Max Preps guy got to get fired. I'm telling you, he put up 21-20 Carleton. He also at one point had 2 White Knoll games and 2 Ashley Ridge games on there, and I didn't know what was what. And 2 of them were on the same week. So that was based on some pre-research that was done months ago when people did not have their stuff together, and I was trying to get my stuff together. So I will not take any comments about that. Who are their running backs? I don't know what time that was posted. I think it's about May River. Misa, can you answer who are their running backs?
I don't have the depth chart yet, to be honest, guys. I'm a soccer coach, not a football coach.
I'll tell you after tonight.
I'll tell you after tonight when they post those stats and those numbers. I'm just trash talking. Sorry. Let me get back to reporter mode. No, I'll get that for you guys. Promise.
I believe Peter Nodelman. I believe Peter Nodelman is in the mix. I've heard.
We got a stable of running backs that'll be coming at use tonight and whatnot. So,
yeah, I think we'll see a lot of Nodelman. I'm not really sure who else. I think we'll see a committee largely, which has kind of been their MO anyway, and is probably a necessity. It maybe wasn't always a necessity in the past, but it probably is now. There were times where they probably had a guy who could have been the workhorse, and they could have used other guys elsewhere if they chose that philosophy, but it just wasn't their philosophy. But I think it'll be a necessity this year that they just won't have that guy, and they'll have to lean on several different guys. But what else are we looking at here? I had some text messages to read aloud, the mailbag, if you will. Jeff Strickland chiming in on the Patrick Henry game where Justin Clifton will be, and he'll be trying to get us some video and relay us messages if he can get enough signal. But our Patrick Henry update from Estill, looking to be a good season for the Patriots, but they got a good one tonight against St. John's Christian. Jeff tells us that St. John's Christian lost some good players from last year from graduation and transfers. But they're still solid. They have a good line. They're young at the skill positions, but some are pretty good. Starting running back's a sophomore, but he's got some jets and can be gone if he gets to the outside. He's the biggest threat. They have a solid linebacker who gets after it and is all over the field. We've studied their film. They have a counter play they blew up Kings on last week for a few scores, so if we can stop that, we should be okay. We got a strong offense, too, with a lot of experience. Our line is stronger this year, 100%. Not sure on defense yet because it was a little bit of a mismatch last week, but I know for a fact that our secondary has to be the best in our division. So, oh man, bold statements from Mr. Strickland. He might not have gone this bold if he was on live, but he says they do have a few kids out, practice injuries, not too much. He won't say too much in case St. John's is listening. We got some new coaches. They know the game. Kids are listening and buying in. 40-man roster shows the trajectory. This was a team that just launched 11-man football again last year. They were playing 8-man 2 years ago. So that says a lot, actually. But so some good stuff there from Jeff Strickland.
I'm impressed with what I saw. Obviously, you take it with a grain of salt from what you saw against Cross because that's a developing program that's just starting their 11-man football journey. And, I mean, they're a thin team. They don't have as much talent compared to some other squads, but still, I liked what I saw last week in Patrick Henry, and I am sold on the group of core players that they have, especially a do-it-all guy like Michael Tucker Mathis, and then the Ferry twins, the Ferry brothers. Those guys know how to battle on the field, and that offense is a heck of a task to go up against. I think they're going to have their way against St. John's Christian. You did mention that, the one stellar linebacker that you're going to have to look out for, but I like the way Patrick Henry operates their offense, and we'll see about the secondary. They can back it up against a quality passing team. That'll be another thing, but I like the way Patrick Henry is looking right now. I like what they did last year and returning a bunch of those top guys from what we saw in 2022, that was right there. And I still think this team has potential to be a big-time sleeper in 1A. This is a big, important prove-it game to back up what you did against an inferior opponent and then do it against a sneaky, tough team in St. John's Christian that could have that kind of, I'm not going to say trap game because I think it could be competitive, but I think Patrick Henry is the more talented group and should come away with a win. But we'll see how it goes out there. Over in Estill, first home game of the year for the Patriots. I expect the key guys to come through and give them a victory here over St. John's Christian, but could be an interesting game.
I think it's a really interesting game. St. John's is always pretty competitive.
Yeah, they always
got some athletes, and if you blow assignments and stuff, they will make you pay because they've always got a couple of guys who are just out there playing playground ball who can ball. And if you mess up, they'll make it hurt. But any other games we want to jump on? Claxton, Hilton Head. I don't know.
I think Seahawks should roll in that one.
Yeah, I think so too. But it'll be good to kind of see what it looks like against somebody else. Just because like Battery Creek is still kind of an unknown quantity after one game too. Just because anytime you have a game that you think is going to be competitive and it's not, you're like, okay, but who were we off about, or was it both? So I'm not sure what to make of that yet. We'll need a couple more episodes to know if we like those characters or not.
Games. JP2 Bethesda.
Oh yeah, I have a report on that as well. But go ahead.
Bethesda was really impressive with what I saw against Hilton Head Prep. I did not expect that kind of lopsided score. I think Hilton Head Prep's still a growing squad, but Bethesda, really stood out offensively for what they're able to do against Hilton Head Prep. So JP2 is going to have to be solid defensively, but when you have Christian Tilton, you have this offensive skill set, so you're going to be tough to beat. That could be fun. It has that tracking potential, maybe. But if those offenses have their way, but I like JP2. I think there's a new swagger, a new belief in that system, that coaching staff with Milligan, and I'm excited to see what they do here. And in another tough matchup, this time on the road at Bethesda.
Yeah, it is a tough matchup. Bethesda looked really good last week against Hilton Head Prep. I mean, obviously, again, grain of salt or whatever, but like they were the guys that they needed to be back this year from last year came back, except for I think they lost a running back, but they had a guy waiting in the wings who had a big game, and he had a big game against Prep last year, even when it was low scoring affair. So, they've got some dudes. They're always dangerous. And when they're good, they're especially dangerous, like super dangerous. So, I think it's a pretty even matchup, but I like where JP2's at right now. I love everything I'm hearing from people about the culture around the program and how it's really, built upon what was already there, but like giving it new energy, which I always think is a good thing when you can yes and. Like these were the things that were good. These are the things we could do better. And you can bring in somebody who's like-minded, but then kind of push them to elevate it. Like I think that model works really well. And I like Milligan a lot. And he sent us some comments because he regrets that he could not join us for the live show, but wanted to give us some insight. So key to the game for him, time of possession, ball security. Jolly and Horton need to get more involved in the run game. In other words, somebody other than CT4 needs to tote the rock a little bit. And getting 11 hats to the ball with disciplined play on defense. Keep this game as close as possible is what can help us win. These guys will beat us if it's a race for points. They got great athletes and size, and that all checks out for me and is great insight from Coach. So we appreciate you chiming in. Coaches, if you're listening or watching, or fans, super fans who pay attention to this stuff and care, hit us with a little game preview, and we'll read you on the air. We'll let the folks know about your insight, and it'll help us inform us before we submit our picks. Misa might be changing his responses after getting all this insight from the show, but great stuff there from JP2, and we're getting more texts all the time over here.
I love how interactive this show is becoming.
That was the dream. That was the vision, and it's starting to happen in real time, and I really enjoy it. So I appreciate everybody who's interacting with us, and I hope we continue to fuel that. Another thing you can do is if you're watching us live, share that stuff, man. Everybody's bored at work at lunch on Friday. Send it out on your platforms, wherever you have your biggest following, and get more people into the conversation, into the club, and let's make this thing as cool as we can possibly make it, and while also being as chill as we can possibly be about all this craziness that we're taking on. But it's fun times. Any other games? Northwood Colleton is very interesting to me. Northwood, completely different team. It's like First Baptist and Northwood did a Freaky Friday. They just swapped. They changed personalities, and now Northwood is dangerous and scary, and they got Johnny Rivers, and First Baptist is going to be, just kind of an afterthought for a couple of years until they get it back on the right footing. But Colleton really, really kind of blew my mind last week. I mean, I wasn't surprised they won, but when I saw they were down in the second half and they came back and won 33-23, I was like, oh. Like this new generation, they trained under the wing of those dogs from last year, and they got that same mentality. This could be better than we anticipated, and potentially pretty special by the end of the year.
And a lot of credit to Greg Langdon, that coaching staff. They know how to win and make adjustments to put the best players out there in the biggest spots and make it happen. Cole Davis is, of course, a big part of that, but they've got a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. Raleigh Obenes, a guy who we didn't credit as much as we should last year. Absolute beast on the line.
When I finally saw him in person, I was in love. He is a prospect for me. He's a project. I think he's also a keeper, Misa. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, no, like that's the kind of guy you want to emulate with your program. Just someone who's going to fight on all three downs and give it that extra effort on defense, on special teams, when you see a guy out there as well. And there's so many different guys like that on that defense who will buy in important moments throughout the game. And the line was the big question mark. Obviously, still too early to tell, but this is going to be I think this one could be a back and forth kind of game. Northwood Academy, you've got to be riding on a heck of a high. First win of that program since 2019. 29-game losing streak, something like that. They finally got on the win column for the first time in a while. So that's gonna fire you up, and that's gonna make you. I mean, you that's an emotional high, Ryan. That's gonna make you a tough team beat when you're that kind of pumped up and motivated. Like we can do this again. And so I think this one could be very, very interesting. Two teams that have kind of overachieved at some kind of way in early on the season. So I'm expecting this one could go either way. I think it could be a great matchup here between these two early, and could be a nice battle early on the season.
Yeah, it's a fun game for me. The other one I wanted to touch on for sure is Jenkins Bluffton. Brady Sacha will be on the case for that one. But Misa, I wanted to touch on it a little with you because got a bunch of former May River guys over there now. Carnell Warren's over there. Jake Ridgway's over there. Who am I missing? There was another one. There was a third one, I thought.
McCarthy's over there too.
Yeah, Aiden McCarthy got in a game last week because Owen kind of got banged up and it was garbage time. Aiden struggled a little bit, but Brady was like, "Are you worried?" And I was like, "No, dude. It's like he wasn't planning to play really, and then he gets in and it's a new offense that he just started learning this summer, and like it's a lot. It's opening night, and you're not ready for it, and." That was great for him, though. Get that out of the way. The next time he'll be like, all right, it can't be worse than last time. I got this, and he'll be fine. So that's part of the process, and that's why you do it. That's why you get him in the game there, so that he gets those reps when it doesn't ultimately matter, and he's ready when you need him to be. So, and you might need him to be. Owen's, he's kind of like some of the others we talked about earlier, where he's not scared. He's going to go in there headlong, and he's going to take some hits, and he's probably going to get dinged a few times and might get his belt rung and be out for a half or something, and then maybe a week or two after that. So they need him to be ready. But what do you think about that game?
Yeah, I think Bluffton's going to handle business tonight at home. In their home opener, they took care of business against Beach last week. They'll do.
Hopefully, the Bluffton Police Department handles business in the state.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything about that, but that might mean there'll be a few extra services during the game early, so we plan on go for the first half. But I think Bluffton will take care of business. McCarthy's a great kid. He was one of our JV players last year for soccer, goalkeeper. So I think it was good for him to kind of get that out of his system. Like you said, he's a young player, he's a sophomore, has a great future, great upside as an athlete overall. So I think he'll do great. Carnell, I love that kid. Even though he's at Bluffton, he's a Bobcat, but I still love that kid. Awesome work ethic, great athlete. He has a very bright future ahead of him. So we even though we hate to see them wearing that shade of green and black, we are happy for them here, and we still want them to be successful overall. But I think they're going to take care of business. I don't think it'll be a close game, to be honest. By halftime, it should be over, whether it's because it's lopsided or because there may be another incident in the stands. We'll see what happens.
42-0 ball game because y'all can't be chill. Just be chill at the football game. That reminds me of a childhood story that I still find like traumatic. When we were at a high school football game and some guys showed up and they had a gun, and there was a new kid in town named Luis, and he didn't speak a whole lot of English, but he spoke a little bit. And he was over there when the police were arresting them, so we asked him for the lowdown, and he said that the police told him, "We see you at the football game again, we take you to the jail." And I have never been able to shake that one for the rest of my life. I think about, "We see you at the football game again, we take you to the jail," very frequently, because I frequently go to high school football games, and we're all going to be out at some on Friday night, so it's going to be a good time. Other games we didn't really talk about much, we'll brush over here. We're over time, but who cares? It doesn't matter. If you want to listen, you'll keep listening. Hampton County at Allendale. I like the Facebook post I saw earlier today. Alert! There's a hurricane warning for Allendale County. Conditions, I added conditions worsening around 7:30 p.m. So that summarizes my feelings about that. I think Hampton's defense is ferocious, and the offense is really good and going to get better and better because X is coming back, Xavier Garvin, and that gives them just a whole other element. And Zion Dobson wasn't 100% last week and was still an absolute monster. So I think they're going to roll there. What else haven't we touched on? Yeah, hop in there. Cross Calhoun. I mean, who knows? Somebody's got to win that one. Hopefully it's Cross.
Yeah.
we should have hit up Jeff Strickland for more on that one. I can't pretend to know anything about that game, except Cross doesn't have very many guys, but they got a great attitude and they're going to get great effort. And, you know, all you can do is do that, and whatever happens, happens. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes it rains in my game.
I think Well Branch beat North Charleston too. That's my lock pick of the week, by the way.
You got that one? I'm going to say 46-6. They'll probably give up a touchdown in garbage time. We did open the show with Hatcher, Bo. Like, if they've been with us from the get-go, they know we already talked about that. We may have to close the show with a Hatcher clip too, our moment of zen.
I just need somebody to research for me the length of his brim of his hat, because it looked very long from the angle. That's all I want to know. Okay, I just want that. Hold on. Like, let's break this down. I mean, how long do you think that is? Honestly.
Hold on. I gotta get this one out. I gotta get this one in.
I got number 5 here. You want?
It's like this. Look, okay, there you go. Perfect. All right. What's a bigger margin, the brim or the score line in last night's game?
In what? Like centimeters? Like, it's probably closer in centimeters. It depends on the metric.
It looks like miles to me. That looks like miles. Honestly, this could be like a 50-yard dash here we could do in that hat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, let's get some more Hatcher.
You want to speak to him?
Heck yeah. Oh, we got Keith Chisholm. We got Keith Chisholm. I'm telling you, you never know who's going to show up. I can listen to you talk all day, brother. It's a good time. When you said over there at the furniture store, I about lost it.
All right, I'm about to hand you to KJ Chisholm. Hey, you guys have a good night, man. We'll be back there. Be back home with you guys in hopefully about an hour and a half.
We'll definitely come see you. It's at least 12 inches.
12, I mean, he might be right. I think
what's going on?
Who can guess it correctly?
We got KJ Chisholm live on here. Tell us about the debut of your senior year, man.
I felt like we did great. We clicked on all cylinders. O-line was blocking, running backs was blocking for each other. We was going crazy on defense. Shut them to 0 till fourth quarter, and then I mean, when the O-line blocking, there's a lot you can do. That's how I feel.
A complete performance from you guys. Describe that defensive energy. Nearly pitching a shutout in that first game. What did you guys do? Try to get the camera back on you, man.
I feel like I'm in a time vortex.
He's trying to hear you.
I'm in a time vortex.
Okay. There you go. Okay. Yeah.
Speak up for him.
Well, thanks for thank you. But just describe the effort defensively and how you're able to hold them off the board almost the whole game.
Coach Hatcher just being Coach Hatcher. You know, Coach Hatcher, he loved football. He watched crazy film. He gonna give us the details. He told me they threw a bomb first play every game. They did it today. I caught a pick. First play on
love it when a plan comes together.
Just gonna give you what the coach is gonna give you what you need. You gotta just take it.
Yeah, if you got a tendency, Hatcher's gonna get it. He's gonna take advantage of it. You can't have a tendency like that. He'll figure you out.
Coach Hatcher.
He's like the detective. He's gonna figure out all your tales. But talk a little bit about Daryl Cummings.
Sidney Poirot of the
Lowco. We had a good time chatting with him at the media day. I had a little fun with him on Insta, with that little side eye he gave Hatcher when he said he wasn't going to break any 80-yard runs. But talk about what he brings to the team, because he seems to have a little energy and swagger that kind of elevates everybody.
Daryl just loved the game. Like, he do everything physical, defense, offense. It don't matter if he running the ball, tackling. It don't matter. Like today, he didn't break an 80, but he broke a couple big ones. I want to see Coach Hatcher's reaction on the sideline. Coach Hatcher was talking trash media day.
You guys have been vibing in a big way already, and just love the excitement that you guys have shown, the passion on the field. But just looking at the senior year ahead of you, how excited for the potential of what you guys can do over in Seabrook?
I'm excited because I love what I saw tonight. I did, honestly. I felt like our O-line wasn't like this since my 10th grade year when we had X.
Yeah, big
X. We had X. But I love what I saw tonight.
X don't give it to you. It's looking good up at Virginia Tech too, huh?
Yeah, he is.
Let's go and give it to you.
Yeah.
You like that, Misa?
Talking about Xavier Chaplin, who's on track
It
to
popped right in my
start at
head.
Virginia
Go,
Tech
give it
as
to
a redshirt freshman. So we got some dudes from the Lowco, and a lot of them come from Whale Branch, man. Tell us what's going on out there in Seabrook that makes everything so special. Y'all are sending people to the league, to Power 5, and you're next up, man.
You want to work? Call Mr. Castle Middleton. You want to work?
Yeah.
Call Mr. Castle Middleton. Castle Middleton will give you whatever you need. Workout on the field, in the sand, in the weight room, advice, whatever you need.
He is the guy.
sir.
He is
He's
the
the Sherpa,
difference
the
that
Seabrook
has,
Sherpa,
brought
Castle
so many
Middleton.
guys to new heights, and I'm excited about you. You know, how pumped are you heading into this coming week about how you continue what you did today and move it forward as you prepare for a very tough region?
I'm ready because I feel like when I got the ball in my hands, it's a scary sight. It's a scary sight. I feel like at quarterback, I feel like Lamar Jackson, but I'm out of position.
Because he's running behind me.
Look, I'm running behind.
Who's that?
Right
Zay.
here,
There we
top,
go.
Big.
Dynamite
78.
drop in, Zay.
All right, who is that?
Isaiah Evans.
Oh, Isaiah. Yeah. Well, we got 6'7", 315 or something.
Something like that. 6.
Goodness. Yeah, Coach Hatcher was about him earlier this season, about how big and good he was
Over
gonna
at the
be. But,
furniture place.
well, hey, man, we're almost out of time on the show, so we're going to have to wrap things up. But we appreciate you, and shout out to Coach Sullivan for hooking it up. And we'll see you guys back at home real soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I love that, by the way.
Oh, my God.
You guys know how I am about stuff like that. I love a player that has confidence, that has swag, a team of person that has swag and confidence, can just be themselves. I'm all for that. So that was awesome.
And he didn't say anything to denigrate anybody. It was all positive. It was all we this, we that. I mean, it was textbook. Now, does it have a whole lot of, is it dripping with swag? Like 100%. But when you boil it down, it's coach speak. It's coach speak with style. That's all it is. He's bought into the mindset that it takes. And Castle Middleton's a big part of that. The Seabrook Sherpa. He will see you as far as you can go. I guarantee you. He's in that same camp with BJ Payne and some of these guys who they have dug in deep enough to figure out the secret to the sauce. And they'll give you the blueprint. No, they can't do it. They can't do the work for you.
And
Only
it's
you
really
can do the
special
work.
to see it when it's
But they'll
full.
give you the blueprint.
Yeah. You don't see that very often in one A school. There's some coaching talent here. There's training talent. Just rubs off on these kids. They're so motivated. We've seen that from a bunch of Whale Branch guys throughout a bunch of different sports. You can go back a few years and name a couple guys, a lot more than that, who have done incredible work in the gym, in the weight room, and then on the field. There's so much that goes into becoming a standout, and especially when you see all these guys doing it. That kind of motivation, that kind of work at a 1A level where, it's hard to come by some of these schools in a small area like this. It's they're achieving a lot more than is expected of them. And it all starts at the top. Casey's doing a great job as AD, and then you got Jerry Hatcher over there, and a great history of basketball coaching as well. You got Jeremiah Faber now. It's going to be a fun school year over there at Whale Branch, starting with this football team and going beyond that.
I love Misa's face when you just said the name Jeremiah Faber. It's just an instant smile. Like it just brings a lot of things rush into your mind, and most of them make you smile. He's just another main character coming back. He coming out of retirement to be a main character on our show, boys. It's going to be so fun.
Another proud product of Jasper County.
That's right, through and through. But he's jumping ship, going to Beaufort County, Whale Branch. It's a special place out there, man. And it's all about that community. Everybody grab an oar. Everybody know their role. It's the same things that make a team special are the same things that make a community special, and that's that we all put ourselves aside. And that doesn't mean we don't take care of ourselves. We don't focus on our own needs, but we figure out what it is that we can provide to the community or to the team that makes the team better. and makes us a contributor in some small way that we can most maximize our potential and our impact. And that's what makes a team great, is when everybody buys into that philosophy, no matter what their role ends up being in the long run. And that's what makes a community great. And that's what we're trying to build right here, man, is a community where we keep you abreast of what's going on, but we rally around the people and we support each other. Rising tides lift all boats. Iron sharpens iron. Go Lowco. Everybody pulling in the same direction. So I'm fired up about the direction we're headed in. Obviously, boys, it's manic season. I have to exist in this state to be able to pull off all the crap we're pulling off right now without just absolutely having a meltdown. So need all the help we can get. If you dig what we're doing, you get it, you see what we're going for here, you want to help us create really cool content that celebrates our teams and athletes and puts them on the map. Because, I mean, we're showing you clips that have viral potential here if we get enough people working together to push it out there. And we're starting to recognize what the real roadblocks are to getting recruiters down here. And a lot of them are very, very much easy to overcome in this day and age when we use the right tools, and we're figuring out which tools they are, and we'll train you how to use them the way we are, and you'll probably learn how to use them better really soon, and we'll set you on your way, and we'll all be better off in the long run. So I think that's a great place to segue out of this way overtime thing. We're gonna have to start cutting off the stream or something, making it Patreon bonus content after wrap or something for all the good stuff. But I think we touched on every game in there, so we got, except for White and Old Colleton, which we touched on because we had to make fun of me for having it on there when it's not this week. So we are all squared away, boys. We are ready to settle in, charge our devices, catch a little cat nap, and get ready for kickoff. Coming up, no early kicks tonight. Everybody 7:30. No, Christian kicks at 7, don't they? I think Christian Academy kicks at 7, typically. I think it's an agreement with Bluffton, so they don't get all the traffic there at the same time. But I think that's the only one. So no matinees and sea pines. Everybody's got lights tonight. We should be good to go. And we're pushing back our start time to 11:30 tonight. 11 was just too much anxiety. We are trying to get as many people in there as we can. So if you have my cell number, text me if you want to jump in. If you don't have my cell number, email me, LowcoSports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com. I'll get the link out to you, and hopefully you can join us for another action-packed and surprise-riddled show on the Lowco Pigskin Live, 11:30 tonight. Thanks so much to Wes Kerr and Misa Garzon for being the wingmen today. It was good times. Shout out to Marcus Walsh for jumping in and being Mr. Everything on that WHHI broadcast. He's got a great team along with Daniel Court and Kevin Libby. And I got to get a sponsor shout out in here. I missed it. I haven't invoiced him yet, so he hadn't paid me yet, but we got a new one. Actually, we got a whole Loco Booster Club we got to shout out here, folks. We'll make it up to him next time. A little longer ads, but Prime IB, hydration and wellness. My man Max is amazing. He's got all the juices you need to get feeling right. Go see him in Belfair Town Village and get your drip, and you'll be feeling better. I'm going to go see him on Monday after coaching baseball all weekend and get rejuvenated. And then if you need to be cracked up and adjusted to, go over to Rooted Living Wellness and see my guy Ambrose, fellow Mizzou grad. He will take care of you, get you all cracked up, get your mind right too, because he does the whole thing. Barefoot Floor Care, the Low Country, get your floors right. Wood, flat, tile, vinyl, carpet, upholstery. Chris will get it clean, and he'll get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. And then Eagle Creations, one of the best kept secrets around here for some of us. If you run a organization or a team and you need a jersey or a hat and a pinch, they can hook you up real quick. Typically, if it's an emergency, they'll get on it real quick. They can set up a team store for you where you can incorporate fundraising along with apparel. They got amazing purely Southern gift baskets that you can use to let people know you appreciate them or you're thinking of them. Lots of stuff over at Eagle Creations right off Argent Boulevard. Big Loco sponsor, so let them know that we sent you. And then the newest, as I mentioned, Court Lifestyle Pros of Charter One. They are another Lowco Booster Club sponsor, and you know Daniel from WHHI or from the stage if you are a patron of the stage, of the arts. But he and Debbie are your hometown realtors, and they're lifelong Low Country residents, so they really know the place inside and out, especially on Hilton Head. They're a great option with Charter One Realty. So sorry for leaving you to the end, guys, although I think that's what I put in your contract, so I think it's all good. I think we're good to go. But I felt bad about it. I like to get it earlier in the show. Shout out to
if they want
those
to get
sponsors.
earlier, they can just pay a little bit more, and then you get
Just
early.
got to bump up to that varsity level. It's not a problem. Double it up, and we'll
Win-win.
get you bumped up a tier, and not a problem. No problem at all. So, should be a great night tonight, fellas. We got people all over the place. My head is spinning thinking about it, but we'll get it all on the tracks as well as we can. And ready or not, 11:30, here we come. Lowco Pigskin Live. So thanks to all of our sponsors, all of our guests, and all of you who show up to listen or watch. Share. Get in touch with us, interact with us. Shout out to my boy Sam with the comments. It makes my day when we get interactivity, because I know people are actually paying attention to this nonsense we're talking about. But that's going to do it for this round of it. Until next time, go Lowco.